I wanted to take this opportunity to kind of scope out expectations and for the upcoming exam, which will be posted. Uh, well, you'll be taking it essentially this time next week. Um, First and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and post the exam by the morning of October 2nd. So that means that it will be ready for you to take a look at and start that morning, essentially Monday morning. Um, you will have 1 week in which to get the exam back to me, get the responses back to me. So um, that means that from October, essentially October 1 to October 8th, it will be posted the night, Sunday night, and you'll have until Sunday night to get it back to me. So it will be an open note exam. So I expect to have a polished product as a result of that because it's open note and because you have a week to take your time with it. That means no grammatical or spelling errors. I expect a polished product as far as the um, time and attention paid to providing responses. Since there is no real time limit to taking the exam, you will be emailing me your Word document responses, and then I'll be using those to grade and provide feedback and get those back to you. So again, this will be the first kind of major grade that will be recorded in the grade book. It will be based on a 100-point grading scale. However, the overall weight of this exam towards your final grade is only 10%. So it is going to be an opportunity basically to see how the exams are designed, which I'll go into greater detail in just a moment. But and basically it'll act as a template for all the rest of the exams for the semester, so you'll know what to expect. The content will change obviously, but the format is what I'm talking about. The format is going to remain the same. So this is really kind of an opportunity to kind of get a sense of how the exams are designed, what the exams are measuring, um, what my grading expectations will be, and kind of where the bar is set essentially. So as for the exam format itself, it is writing intensive, as I mentioned at the outset of the semester. It is based on two major components. One is providing a response to an essay question. This is a long essay, and this basically is the forms the bulk of the points on the exam itself. It is worth 70 points towards the overall 100 points on the exam. I expect multi-paragraph, probably multi-page, depending on the amount of detail and kind of context that you bring to the response, which I will expect. And as far as getting a sense of essay questions or potential essay questions, kind of how they'll be formatted, or to get a sense of what to expect, I suppose, is to basically consider them to be modeled on the discussion questions. So it'll be kind of a small paragraph asking you to, discuss X, Y, and Z terms or civilizations that we've covered thus far in the class, and either compare and contrast them, or to focus on the kind of social, political, military, cultural aspects of the major groups, societies that we've studied thus far. Um, so that's kind of the how the essay questions are going to be defined. Again, I'm going to want to expect a introductory paragraph, several body paragraphs, and a conclusion. So usually, as far as kind of how to go about studying or prepping for the exam, what I would suggest is that or how I design the essay question is to help you organize your thoughts, that lend itself to kind of a multi-paragraph type of reply. So if I ask for the military, social, economic, and political kind of aspects of one particular empire or society, then that should give you an idea as to how to go about designing and kind of laying out your outline for your essay. I mean that a paragraph on the military, a paragraph on the social, economic, political type of areas that I want you to focus on. That's four potential body paragraphs right there that would help to kind of flesh out a thorough essay response. Now, some of you have already done this in your discussion question responses, where you provide a kind of a topic sentence to your what you're talking about, and then you provide more specific details in the paragraph that's addressing, say, like the Ottoman aspects, to give an example of their attention to power and kind of centralized authority. So, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Kind of make an overall kind of general statement at the beginning, obviously, of a paragraph, and then, excuse me, and then I want you to get into specific examples, providing greater context that support what it is that you're talking about. Talking about, in the case of the Ottomans, the Janissaries kind of element, talking about the construction of massive or conversion of large temples like the Hagia Sophia, the construction of elaborate palaces to demonstrate not only wealth but also dominance, power itself. Let's see, as I mentioned, this essay, there'll be several essay questions. You were to choose one to reply to, and then that one response will be graded out of a total of 70 points, 70. So the overall bulk of the exam is devoted to the essay question. The other portion of the two-part exam is going to be devoted to what are called identifications or key terms. These are literally going to be a list of just either people, Elizabeth I or Ivan the Terrible or Zheng He, Tokugawa Ieyasu from Japan, or so it's going to be very either people like that. It's going to be Janissaries. It will be something to the effect of, say, the Columbian Exchange. Let's see, what else else could be a potential one? The 30 Years' War. Uh, you know, the uh, let's see. The Peace or Treaty of Westphalia. These types of things would be kind of what what may appear as a key term. How are you to reply to that? Well, these are kind of, again, almost like a short form response, but I say that with the caveat that they are to be in at least kind of a generous paragraph, half a page to a page long for each response. What will be specifically looking for is you to identify the who, what, where, when, why, how, and most importantly, the significance of that person, of that place, of that event, of that policy, that war, that peace treaty, you know, and that you will be providing a response that is in complete sentences, so no bullet points. That is essentially a short essay on each of these identifications. There will probably be a list of at least, I would say, at least 10 to 12 terms, or kind of people or places or what have you. You are going to be asked to respond to 3 of them, and each one of those 3 responses is going to be worth 10 points. So with the essay being 70 points, each of the 3 IDs worth 10 points. That's a total of 100 points. I do not want you to put down, who, colon, and then write in or type in, the response. Again, these need to be the identifications. Your responses they should be in complete sentences. You have ample amount of time to do so. You have ample amount of resources, since this is an open note exam, and so I will be looking for that and grading on it as well. So if you do provide bulleted points, or this kind of who, colon, what, colon, where, colon, type of just abbreviated responses, I will be taking points off for that. As far as the significance of a person or an event or place is concerned, essentially I will want you to consider what the short-term and long-term implications or aspects are of the particular term being discussed. So that may be to show kind of a nuanced or kind of a discussion-like element to it, as far as what if it's talking about why his explorations were important, what did he encounter and uncover, but then also talk about why the Chinese leadership decided to abandon it wholesale, and simply contract and isolate themselves from any further exploration. That on the one hand, it's significant because of the technological capability of Chinese navigation, the interactions that they had well into and all across the Indian Ocean, but then also which portends a high degree of significance, obviously, But then there's this equal element to it that is also significant, where it's completely abandoned. So I would want that to be thoroughly discussed in your response to the identifications. Janissaries, you could talk about, well, this would be, you could talk about where they're being drawn from, the populations from which they're taken, um, why that would be the case, and then the potential, benefits and pros and cons, essentially, of how and why that was done. Contributing to a sense of just how significant that kind of institution had in the Ottoman Empire. With someone like Elizabeth I, you could talk about the essentially really the world, especially the kind of context of the European powers at the time in which she found herself, and her masterful ability to navigate that, which is a true testament to her ability to not just have the English state survive, but actually thrive under her reign. Talking about her ability to inspire, to kind of, as I just said, navigate and negotiate through a pretty turbulent era of the late 16th century. So again, the focus of this exam will be on the material we've covered thus far. There shouldn't be too much of a need to go beyond the timeline that we've covered. There, you may want to, you could allude to what's going to happen. If you're talking about the slave trade or something of that nature, you could certainly talk about kind of the long-term consequences and effects of that. But we'll be talking more about that as we move on into colonial America, and also the establishment of the United States and things of that nature. So we'll be that'll be an ongoing theme that we address. But I say it should cover the material. It should involve the material that we covered, obviously, because that's what the focus of the exam should be. And that's where the focus of your studies should be as well. Let's see. So I will be obviously available. Should you have any questions. Hopefully this short presentation has been helpful. If you have any questions during this week leading up to the exam, please feel free to email me. If you have any questions while you have the exam in your possession and are kind of looking at it and considering responses and so on and so forth, feel free to email me. If something is not clear, I'll expect you to reach out and kind of ask for greater clarity. Or if you wanted to say, well, look, this is how I'm thinking about responding to this question, just generally, am I on the right track, essentially. I'd be happy to provide kind of a generalized yay or nay type of response. Again, this first exam is designed to have you understand what my expectations are, to have you become more familiar and comfortable with the content of the exam format itself, and also to kind of begin to apply those critical thinking and critical analysis skills that we're trying to hone here. Um, I'll be posting this video online, and then also probably going to put together some discussion questions. They'll be a little more brief in because I don't want to weigh down too heavily as you get ready for the exam. I know that there can be kind of a deer in the headlights type of test anxiety, perhaps. I'm experienced it myself. So basically, I hope that having 1 week to take the exam and get your responses back to me, having the opportunity to use material, open note type of approach to the exam will help alleviate some, if not all, of that. But the key is to really just kind of prepare. Take the time to have minimize interruptions. Take blocks of time to focus on knocking out responses. So because I can tell you that if you are rushed, if it's Sunday afternoon and you're trying to get this thing in on October 8th, and you're trying to meet a deadline, some people work that way and can do that. I would recommend that you give yourself a lot more time, several days, in which to organize your thoughts better, and really present a polished product. So on the one hand, I'm offering you an open note type of exam, but because of that, I'm going to have higher expectations as far as work product is concerned. So if you do not do as well as you had hoped on this exam, when you get it back, which I should be able to start doing shortly after October 8th, understand that the exam itself, being only 10% of the overall grade, means that there is the bulk of the course grade that you're looking to achieve still lies ahead of you. Again, this is just to provide an opportunity to get accustomed to what the exams are, how they're designed, what my expectations are, where you might need improvement. So it's a learning opportunity. It's not designed to make or break your course grade. So I'm looking for improvement over time. If you do meet your expectations or even exceed them on the exam, that's excellent. I will look to look forward to seeing that threshold being met or even improved upon over the remaining weeks of the semester. You may find that some of the information that you some of the information from the essay question may and the identifications may overlap. That is again to your benefit, but what I won't really tolerate is for me to go along, be reading your essay question, and then say, for further consideration, please see identification on the Janissary response. Again, you have 1 week. You have the materials and the time necessary. You're using a computer application so that you can, design your response to be very thorough and full-fledged. So there's really shouldn't be a need to, kind of like uh, be that kind of dismissive about the attention you need to pay to providing well-rounded responses. I would ideally like you to take perhaps what you have written in the ID and then summarize it, paraphrase it, and integrate it into your essay question, or vice versa. If you wanted to address the essay question first, and then you go and you find out, oh well, one of the examples I used in the essay question I can use as an ID. I would want you to, you know, restructure it or expand upon what you have already written, because it's going to require or can require greater attention. It can allow you to expand on certain points, look in, provide greater detail, and also if there's something that you forgot to include in, you know, either the ID or the essay that you're then using in the other portion, you can then go back and actually add it in, which will be to your benefit. The more information you provide that's accurate, the more details that you are able to, include. This is a demonstration to me that you understand the material, you understand how it applies. I can't really assume that you know it just simply by kind of these vague statements that you may or may not make. So the more detailed and explicit you make things, then that's to your benefit. So I encourage you to do that. Again, that's going to take some time. It's going to take some energy as far as being prepared to incorporate those that level of specificity, but it will be what I'm looking for. So let's see. I don't know if there's really too much else to mention. Usually at this point I would ask if there are any questions. Being asynchronous as we are, of course, can't get any immediate feedback, but like I said, I basically try and check email every day. So if you do have any questions, if you do have any concerns, let me know. And also, if you do have concerns, I might would respond to you individually, but then also I may post an announcement. If I think that there needs to be, kind of if I think that other people might have the same questions as you do. So I will also, I think I mentioned that I would open up a discussion thread to bounce around, kind of as we prepare for the exam. So I'll go ahead and do that as well. So we'll move forward from there. Look forward to it. Look forward to hearing, reading your responses. I can say that I'm pleased with what I've seen thus far in the discussion question responses. Hopefully my responses have been helpful. I'm still working through them, obviously, and gonna keep on top of that. That's on me, so I apologize for the delay in getting all the back to everyone, but I'll be doing that this week. And I've seen that people have posted responses to last week's 2 questions as well. So I'll be kind of looking at those. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out. And good luck on the exam. We'll see how it goes, and be ready for the remainder of the semester. Again, the material covered on this exam will not be included on the succeeding exams, the midterm or the final coming down the road. So that way we can kind of handle more of these manageable bite-sized chunks of time. All right. All right. Take care. Good luck, and talk to you soon.